Ladies and gentlemen, we're back live, and yes, we were just live with our AEW Dynamite Saturday special watch along just a few minutes ago. But you know, it's a wrestling YouTube channel, and wrestling YouTube channel, you cannot have them without their fair share of botches. So I went live with a stream that was actually intended to be a review show, which takes place right after the show goes off the air. And I actually got live on that one, but a good thing I realized it early on during the show, which is why right now I'm here sitting in front of you with the correct live stream link, which is for the watch along. And yeah, I mean, we had a good number of viewers, but that's okay. We're going to build up right there in just a few. But for now, let's just enjoy Chris Jericho and his fans as they all just drink it all in, drink it all in, the love, the passion for Jericho, and sing along with Judas. All right, and now the inner circle appreciating the fans, clapping for them, making them know that they are appreciated for their loyalty, for their singing skills, for everything that they do for the demigod, for Chris Jericho. And in the crowd, I'm still seeing a lot of people wearing CM Punk's WWE shirts. Interesting. Alright, this firing of the crowd right now. Look at the crowd, by the way, so loud, so ready. To come to 2 nights in a row, and you bring that same energy. That's what I'm talking about, the same energy, the same excitement. The crowd is ready, the crowd is excited, they're ready to go. A lot of people there chanting AEW, and you can see the passion in their eyes and their faces as they do that. They're here to support the company that they love. Alright, how has Jericho stayed relevant? It's magic. It's magic how he's been able to stay relevant for far so long. I still remember the time when he beat both Stone Cold and The Rock at the same time. From that time, when he was teaming up with the likes of The Miz, and he was doing the stunts with The Big Show, and he was doing stuff with NXT Redemption, because before NXT was NXT, it was NXT Redemption, and he was doing some stuff there. I mean, he's seen his highs, he's seen his lows, but right now what he's doing with AEW is something that, I don't know, if he was still in the WWE, people might have forgotten. People might have, he wouldn't have been nearly as hyped or as big of a deal as he is right now. That's what I feel myself. So AEW has definitely helped him with his career. And we are live. Yeah, we were live before, but we are back and we are live again. So wrestling news channels, wrestling pages cannot exist without their fair share of botches. So we had a little bit of botch for ourselves, but we're back, we're live right now, as KJ put it recently. And look at who we have here. We have a bunch of MMA guys and their friends, right? Okay. Is Paige there? That's what I care about. Hello, thanks to everybody for tuning in. Is Paige there? I can't see Paige.
Seeing America's top team, Dan Lambert is nefarious Neanderthals. But there's one in particular.
Okay, she's there. Okay.
For you, Page fans.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay.
You always seem to be wherever the inner circle is. You got a little bit of an obsession with Le Champion, maybe?
Paige is definitely wrestling for AEW. It's happening. It has to happen.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it because I wouldn't touch you with your husband's genitalia.
Wow. Wow. What a statement. Okay.
Taking a lot of pictures for your Instagram. What kind of a filter do you use? Clarendon, Juno, Bimbo, or Bitch?
Wow. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear the filter names that Chris Jericho just mentioned? I mean, that's something that you don't really get to hear or see, especially in 2021, especially on live national TV, international TV, should I say? Yeah, it's international TV. And for Chris Jericho to actually go out and say such things, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot.
Face to face, 5-on-5. We want a 10-man tag team match. The Inner Circle versus America's top team. Men of the year. You choose whoever you want, because there is nobody crazier than the Inner Ethics.
So Chris Jericho is now demanding a 10-man tag team match, 5 versus 5, and he wants it to happen. Does he want it to happen tonight? Is he going to wait for a pay-per-view? Likely not, considering they only have 4 a year. So let's see. Alright, so the bunch of MMA guys, they're refusing. They're saying that they have bigger plans. They've got some other plans. They already beat the Inner Circle clean, so they don't need this match. So basically, they're refusing. They're rejecting the idea of this match against the Inner Circle. What up? I'm here, Film Nation BTS. Missed you. Good to see you. Yep, Jericho is talking smack. And he's not just talking smack, he's going out there. He's talking stuff that you don't hear people talk about in 2021, especially on live national, international TV.
That means you've got the stroke to get these guys the tag match they want so bad. The question is, will Sammy step up to the plate for the Inner Circle and agree to our terms? You want to hear our terms? I'll tell you next week.
Okay.
I'm not wasting another breath on these ungrateful trash balls in this dump of a city I used to call.
Okay, so the MMA guys right here, they're getting all the heat that they can. Not only did they put down the Inner Circle, not only are they insulting them, but they're also insulting the fans in attendance. They're calling them trash balls, they're calling them names right there. Definitely not being very kind to the fans. Trying to get all the heel heat that they can. So, I don't know, I thought that the fans were cheering on the MMA guys, but apparently they want to be healed. So, okay, understandable. Of course, this is to put Sammy over. Sammy, the TNT champion, it is all to put him over right now. So, they have to turn heel for him. Understandable. So,
I'm Sammy Guevara, the Spanish guy, and most importantly, I'm the TNT champion.
Sammy Guevara does not want to wait until next week.
And guess what? I'm gonna kick every one of y'all's asses.
Sammy wants to fight today, tonight, but it looks like the MMA guys are not ready. They want it to happen next week. Next week they're going to come out and they're going to give them some kind of an answer. They're going to tell them what they think. They're going to tell them the terms and conditions that they have before they face either Sammy or the entire Inner Circle in a tag match. Whatever it will be, we're going to get to know about it only next week. So until then, we can only keep guessing. And guys, don't think that next week is going to be on Wednesday. No, next week as well, it's going to be on a Saturday. Dynamite is going to go live. It's going to air on a Saturday next week as well. And from the week after, it's going to be on Wednesdays as usual. So don't get confused. Next week, your Wednesday is free. And Saturday is occupied, is taken by All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. And we're on commercial right now, and for some reason, I'm actually not getting a commercial. What I'm getting is an image, a logo of All Elite Wrestling Saturday Night Dynamite with its theme song. And that's all about that I'm getting right now. I'm not getting a commercial. That's it. Yep, no commercials from me. I'm just getting the theme song of All Elite Wrestling and its logo. So it's good though, it's giving us some kind of a song, background song, while I talk to you guys about the show. It's good. Keep it up. Better than watching some cringy commercials, isn't it? And by the way, speaking of commercials, it reminded me of the fact that Impact Wrestling is coming up with its jam-packed, it's incredible, Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which is going to be taking place very shortly. And for that pay-per-view, I was just having a watch line yesterday with our friend KJ White. We were watching both SmackDown as well as AEW Rampage. And while doing the watch long, I told KJ, you know what? Since Bound for Glory is coming up, I'm going to call my friends at Impact Wrestling. And let's see if we can try and schedule a few interviews. Guess what? I picked up the phone. I called up Dixie Carter, or, my friend at Impact Wrestling, whoever it is. I called them up and I let them know that, hey, I know Bond for Glory is coming up. You want us to do some interviews? And they said, yeah, of course we want you to do interviews. Yeah. So next week we've got something special coming for you from Impact Wrestling and Wrestling News. So stay tuned. It's gonna happen early next week. So I'm very very excited about what we do with Impact. So we're going to be working with a lot more wrestling promotions in the coming few days, coming few months. So stay tuned for exclusive content from various wrestling promotions from across the globe right here at Wrestling News. And if you're not following us on Instagram already, head over to instagram.com/wrestling news as we've got a lot more crazy amount of content right there on Instagram. Okay, commercials. All right. I was not missing them, but here they are, and I'm watching full screen commercials right now. I wouldn't have complained if this were actually picture in picture, but they're giving me full screen. I guess I'll take it. So, all right. So, wow. Okay, we're back from commercial. It's kind of abrupt. Andrade is making his way to the ring. Look at him. He's all suited up. He's happy. He's smiling. Look at the pyros behind him. Look at his shades. I mean, if there's one person who can dig shades as well as I can, who can rock shades as well as I can, it's Andrade. Look at him. He looks good in his sunglasses. I don't think Impact airs live in the UK. A shade. Oh, okay, all right. There are websites with which you can still stream Impact Wrestling live. I'm not going to recommend them because they're not legal streams, but still there are websites. Also, actually, for the UK, there is a way with which you can stream Impact Wrestling shows, and that's Impact Wrestling subscription plans. I believe it's $1 a month, something along that line. $1 or $5, I can't really recall. But if you go to their YouTube channel, Impact Wrestling's YouTube channel, they do offer some subscription. And if you subscribe to their YouTube channel, you can access the live stream of their Impact Wrestling weekly shows live on YouTube. And apart from that, it will also be available to stream on demand later on, right there on their YouTube channel. So head over to Impact Wrestling's YouTube. They have a pretty cool and affordable subscription plan, being offered for the fans out there. So if you want to watch Impact, that could be a way to watch it as well, legal and the right way to watch it. So there is a way. But yeah, Bound for Glory though, that's not gonna air on YouTube. It's probably gonna be a fight. So check that out as well. Bound for Glory is supposed to be a very it's supposed to be an amazing match, an amazing pay per view. I mean, with Impact especially, these past few pay per views have been great. We saw that pay per view with Rich Swann and Kenny Omega back in April, and I don't know if you know about this, guys, but we also did. I actually interviewed Rich Swann for that match a day before his match against Omega. 2 days actually, 2 days ago, his match against Omega, and the interview went so well. It was very in depth. Uh, Rich Swann actually broke his kayfabe during the interview because of the question that I asked. He got riled up. It was pretty good interview, but then I got down with COVID, COVID, and I couldn't publish the interview. So that interview never actually saw the light of day. I do hope to publish it one day in the future, just because of how good the interview was. But for now, let's just enjoy what we're gonna get next week. I'm excited for what's gonna happen. We still don't know who exactly are we gonna interview, but once we do know, you'll know. You'll be the first ones to know. So very exciting to. I'm looking forward to next week. Let's see what happens. But focusing back on the match in the ring right now, my favorite referee Audrey is there. She's calling the action. We've got all of these masked men. All right, this guy is trying to rip off the mask of this Minecraft. Can I call them Minecraft guys? They look like Minecraft guys, but I know D-Star. I don't know. I can't call them Power Rangers, but the black dots or whatever they've got going on kind of remind me of those Minecraft people. But weird. I don't know who they are. I've got no idea. trying to make out who could they be from their, the shape of their body, their height. Okay, didn't really have to guess too hard there. All right, so the title match is going to continue, and picture-in-picture commercial is what we're going to get apparently. Not me though. You guys probably getting it but for me, it's still a full screen show, so I'm enjoying it. And okay, so we're gonna get the Dark Order, and we're gonna get Adam Cole and his gang, in a six-man tag team match apparently coming up next. We're also gonna get Hero Hogan versus Pinnacle, so that's gonna be another one. Hangman is also gonna be cutting a promo addressing the fans, and of course we're gonna get John Moxley in action. So lots of good stuff coming up tonight on AEW Dynamite, and let's not forget we're gonna get Bryan Danielson versus who, right? Who. So the ex NXT guy, a guy that I'm pretty sure the WWE regrets firing, or maybe if they don't already, they will regret it very soon because they should have never let go of him. But AEW Dynamite tonight is supposed to be jam packed. It looks like a very promising card, and I'm pretty sure it'll deliver. Last night's Rampage, I say it as it is. If I like the show, if I feel like the show delivered, I say it delivered. If I feel like they did crap, I'll say it did crap. With Rampage last night, I'm sorry, I felt like they dropped the ball. Rampage was so hyped. It was this Friday Night War with SmackDown. They hoped to be able to beat SmackDown in terms of ratings, but they were, I believe, far off, like 300,000 or something, really far off. So that that show, I mean, I wasn't surprised because I was not a fan of Rampage at all. And we were just talking about it yesterday with KJ, and I know D Star was there too. That CM Punk is soon losing his luster. He's losing the aura, the vibe, the hype around him. People, at first when he made his debut for AEW, people were excited, they were thrilled. But now, as time goes on, and he's done nothing remarkable in the company so far, it's been about over a month now, right? And he's done nothing very remarkable, nothing out of the ordinary. It just makes me feel like, how long is this going to continue? How long is he going to come out here and try to put people over without actually doing something for himself? Yes, he did say in an interview yesterday itself that, look, I'm here in AEW to pay forward. I want to help the newer guys. I want to be kind to them. Eddie Guerrero was kind to me back when I was young and new, so I want to be kind to them. I get that. But for us to be invested, it doesn't matter if you're kind to them or not. It doesn't matter what you're doing backstage or if you're putting people over. What we want to see is storylines. What we want to see is entertainment in wrestling and not just wrestling. And I'll say it as it is. I'll say it. The wrestling with CM Punk in AEW is mediocre. It's not the best wrestling that we've seen. It's mediocre. And if you really don't even invest in a storyline when it comes to CM Punk, and you always with CM Punk, they always talk about realism and how it's not scripted and it's how on the shoot, and he does what he wants. I don't see the entertainment value to it. Pipe Bomb was something different, but for them to not even put any storyline or something right now, I just don't get it. I don't get it. And just like D-Star said right there, kindness is good, but also need viewers. That's right. Absolutely. I mean, AEW is full of kind people, I'm sure, but it needs storylines, especially with CM Punk. What I see personally, on a personal note, is that he's a guy who was tortured by the WWE. He's set free. He's in AEW. He's happy, and he's here to put people over. But still win the matches. It's confusing to me. I don't get it, and I'm not entertained. I was entertained when he made his debut, but no longer am I entertained by CM Punk, even if he's in commentary. Not entertained. You know. I don't know. I don't feel like the titles are gonna change hands tonight. doesn't look like it, and they should not, because this team has been unstoppable. It's been good. It's been impressive. So for them to actually drop the title on a random episode of Dynamite would make no sense to me. Well, let's see what happens. The fans are clapping. They're getting behind these people. This is awesome chants echoing throughout the arena. Has Darby been elevated after facing Punk? I don't. That's right. He hasn't been, and that's what I'm saying. Punk claims he did claim in an interview yesterday itself. He said one of the reasons why he's back is because he wants to pay forward. Because Eddie Guerrero was kind to him, he wants to be kind to these people and help them, flourish and whatnot. He's doing all of that, but he's still winning all the matches. Um, I don't know how. Yes, definitely. If CM Punk is facing somebody, they are getting a fair share of spotlight. People are watching their matches, but what happens to their career after a month after the match or something? Darby Allin, I don't know where he is right now. I don't know if he's on the card right now. I don't know what big things he's doing right now. Right, D-Star, you're right. So I don't know how the match helped him. Maybe it'll help him in the long run, but in the short run, I don't really see a lot happening. So thank you guys for tuning in. It's good to see all of you here. I hope you're all enjoying Dynamite. It's been it's been a decent show. If I could give it an early rating, I would, based on what I've seen so far, I'd give it a 2.5 out of 5. But I feel like the best is yet to come. We've got some solid matches. We've got Bryan Danielson in action. We've got Hangman Page addressing the crowd. We've got a lot going on in the coming. Wow, look at that. We've got new champions right there. And that was a dirty finish. That was a mixed. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. But still, we have new tag team champions nonetheless. FTR, they have secured the AEW Tag Team Championships. And they are the new champions, the tag champions in All Elite Wrestling. So congratulations to FTR. Yep, KJ, new champs. And I'd love to hear what KJ has to say. Guys, if you don't know, KJ will be going live right after this show, and where he's going to be telling us about his honest thoughts, his opinion on the show. He's going to be reviewing the show, he's going to be breaking it down for you. He's going to be telling you all about the results of the show and his review. So make sure to tune in to Breakdown with KJ White right after All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, and our live stream goes off the air. And now we're seeing Leo Rush with Dante in a backstage interview.
Money. I'm just over here trying to take Dante on the highest spot possible. That's exactly what I plan on doing. Because from this day forward, Dante Martin's gonna have a tag team partner. And his name is Leo Rush.
All right, so now it's a tag team. Now Dante Martin is not going to be working solo. He's going to be in a tag team. I believe now they want to go after the tag team championships. So it's going to be Dante Martin and Leo Rush. And Leo Rush says that he wants to take Dante's career to another level. Now, I don't get it. Why do all the WWE, ex-WWE stars come to AEW and they help others? Like, why can't they just come to AEW to make a name for themselves? Or I get it, Ruby Soho is one exception, but apart from Ruby Soho or Adam Cole, I guess every other person that we've seen, CM Punk, now we're seeing Leo Rush, they are all about, hey, I've come here to help other people. If you're so nice, why didn't you just open a wrestling school and just, why didn't you just run it? Why did you have to come here? Why didn't you just take a job of a coach? You know what I mean? I'm getting a little annoyed by all of this. If I'm seeing people here in AEW, I want them to fight. Just like Vince McMahon once said. He said, I want blood, I want sweat, I want people just fighting for the top spot. And right now in AEW with these ex-WWE stars, I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing people willing to help other people, give them a hand and whatnot, which I just don't get. I don't get. So, if I was an ex-WWE star and I was coming to AEW, I'd like to do something different and not come to AEW to help others, but to help myself. And you know what they say, God helps those who help themselves. So, why not start with AEW and why not make a name for yourself, I mean, Leo Rush had such a weird run with the WWE, and he's been having a weird runs, I would say, with AEW. He goes on and off, on and off. He retires, he comes back. So now that he's finally back, why not just use this momentum for yourself instead of putting somebody else over? I just don't get it. But it is what it is, I guess. So we're on commercial right now. I'm seeing a commercial for some professional cycling, and it just amazes me. In our world, there are so many opportunities for people who are interested in everything. If you're interested in cycling, wrestling, you have okay, Mira. I don't know if you heard that, but Miro just sounds so angry for no reason whatsoever. I mean, you're just shooting a commercial. You can calm down, You don't have to be so angry, but he's always so angry, which is adorable. By the way, Miro, I feel like he's done such a great job. I feel like Rusev would come nowhere close to where Miro is with his momentum and everything. He's done just a tremendous job. And now we're getting a backstage interview, actually, a staircase interview with FTR, and their friend Andrade is there as well. You've got a bunch of ex-WWE stars right there. And now MJF, who's here to hug FTR. They're having a little bit of a party right there. Okay. This is quite interesting. MJF and Andrade now face to face. Okay. I felt like MJF was actually not gonna hug him out, not gonna shake his hands, but he did hug Andrade. I feel like he did not want to get on his bad side. I mean, just the way that Andrade looks, I wouldn't want to get on his bad side either. And you should not get on a bad side of anybody who has a suit on and has sunglasses on. I'm talking about myself too. You never want to get on my bad side, right? Similarly, the same case is with Andrade. You don't want to get on his bad side. And look who we have here. We have Orange Cassidy, and he's going to be accompanying Wheeler Yuta to the ring tonight, as Wheeler Yuta is actually in it for perhaps one of the biggest matches of his career. And with Orange Cassidy by his side, I'm pretty sure he's feeling the support, feeling the love of the fans. Okay, so who is he fighting tonight? It's none other than Jon Moxley. So it's going to be Wheeler Yuta versus Jon Moxley with Orange Cassidy in the corner of Wheeler. It's going to be an interesting match, I remember the last time I saw Moxley and Orange Cassidy in the same ring, and their results were just hilarious. It was a memorable moment. When I think about Moxley and Orange, that flashback still plays in my head, picture clear, very, very clear. I still remember every bit of it. Moxley wasting no time, by the way. The bell rang while he was making his entrance. The entrance music was still playing, and then he hit him with the clothesline. And Wheeler is down. Moxley just going at it. He wants to waste no time. He just wants to get in. He wants to finish it. He's now looking for a suplex. What a crazy suplex that was. He tossed him around like nothing. Crazy. Moxley's ready. He's showing. This is the Moxley that I love, if you could have in a fantasy match Jon Moxley versus Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley would annihilate. He would just kill Dean Ambrose. Like, Dean Ambrose would stand no chance whatsoever against Jon Moxley. And just like that, look at that. I don't get it. Pardon me. I love Orange Cassidy. I love a little bit of orange myself. I love it, especially if it's freshly squeezed. But what is the use of having a guy like Orange Cassidy in your corner if all he's going to do is stand right there and do nothing about it? And when you lose, maybe, just maybe, he will enter the ring, he will take out of his sunglasses, and that's about it. He'll do nothing else. So if Orange Cassidy was my friend, I'd ask him to stay backstage and cheer me on from backstage because by being present ringside, he's just causing some kind of a distraction and nothing else. Nothing else. He's probably stealing my spotlight and nothing else. So I feel like Orange Cassidy is perhaps one of the worst supporters that you can have in wrestling. Does nothing to help you. Does nothing to cause distractions. So yeah, I mean, no offense to Orange, no offense to his fans, but he is definitely one of the most useless wrestling managers that have ever existed. All right, Serena Deeb is here, and tonight it's interesting. We're seeing an unusual amount of backstage interviews. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Tony is a busy, busy man tonight. Like we're seeing one backstage interview after the other. But the good thing is that these interviews are kept short. They're kept sweet and simple. I mean, but still, I find it unusual because we just saw a backstage interview with FTR, and now we're seeing with Serena Deep, and the backstage interview has actually turned into a brawl of some sort, and the two women are now going at it. Okay, okay, it's a quick show, you know. I like this about AEW is that there are less commercials, but there's less BS, less nonsense, and more action. And we just cut from a John Moxley match to a backstage. Backstage interview, and from the backstage interview, now we've cut to what's supposed to be a very promising tag team match. The Young Bucks are now coming out right now. I feel bad for whosoever would have to clean all of the confetti right after the entrance. That's a lot of mess to clean up, right? I can't help but think of the Bollywood brothers every time I see the Young Bucks because the Bollywood brothers, in my opinion, fantastic tag team, very very talented, just so driven and determined, and so passionate about wrestling. I mean, since their childhood, they've been dreaming to be wrestlers. They've been working hard to become wrestlers. They reached the WWE, but then they got released. So I feel bad for them, and they recently, I believe, this past week, they had their first ever non WWE match for an independent wrestling show. I believe in Canada, not too sure though. And they posted their photo of the show from the show on their social media. I feel bad for these two because I feel like Bollywood Brothers really did so much during Jinder Mahal's title reign. I mean, had it not been for the Bollywood brothers, Jinder Mahal's title reign wouldn't have been as memorable as it is. With this sort of entrance that they, just did, introduction that they did, the way that they supported him, it was just great. Bollywood brothers really deserved better, but they still ended up getting released, which I just don't understand why. I just don't get it. But if you look at this guy, Adam Cole, I can argue with anybody who would say otherwise. Adam Cole made the best decision of his life by coming to AEW. Britt Baker is here. That's not the only reason why. It's because look at Adam Cole. He just looks very happy. He looks very satisfied here in All Elite Wrestling. He knows that it's his home, and he's proud to call this place home, which is why I'm happy that Adam Cole is here, a place that he can actually call home. He looks really happy here. And the Dark Order is now making their entrance. Bollywood Brothers done a good podcast with X-Pac that you will. Yeah, so I'll definitely check that out as well. X-Pac's podcast is actually pretty good, There are a few podcasts in wrestling. By the way, the Wrassing Show as well. Check out the Wrassing Show. It's available to stream right here on our YouTube channel. So if you want to get to know about the stories of some independent wrestlers as well as WWE stars that you've never known before, make sure to tune in to the Wrassing Show right here on YouTube. We've got some very, very special, interviews right there. So check it out. But yeah, speaking of the X-Pac's interview with the Bollywood brothers, I respect X-Pac and I respect his podcast a lot because I feel like it's less toxic and more informative. There are, I believe two podcasts, or maybe should I say one podcast, which I feel like is very, very toxic, and that podcast belongs to Renee Young, Oral Sessions. I feel like that podcast is. I mean, I don't want to go after Renee Young. I mean, we just had a very short but a nice, sweet match from her husband, John Moxley. So I don't want to attack Renee Young yet. But I feel like her podcast oozes negativity, at least for me. So yeah, I mean, Renee Young's podcast I find is very toxic. But apart from that, Chris Jericho, one could argue, also toxic. But I feel like Chris Jericho has his own thing going on. I mean, he gives an outlet to the fans out there, to the wrestlers out there, to send their message across the board and let the fans know what they've been going through. But Renee Young, I feel like she does the same thing, but on a worse level, on a greater level. If you know what I mean. So Renee Young's podcast definitely something that I don't like, don't appreciate a lot. Okay, the Dark Order right now is in the upper hand, is dominant position, and yeah, I can see. So having some chocolate right here, it's important. I agree. Bollywood Brothers really worked hard. Yes, they did. Yes, they did for sure. Hmm. While we're watching a match with the Dark Order, I cannot help but think of Bray Wyatt because a recent report just came up from the WWE saying that Bray Wyatt was difficult to work with backstage. That the officials found it hard, the creative team found it hard to work with Bray Wyatt, and that's one of the reasons why he was released. He was let go from the company. Now, I'm not sure of how hard was he to work with because we've all worked in teams, right? Like all of us who are watching this right now, you know, me, you, everybody, we've worked in teams at some point in our life, right? Let it be in college, let it be in school, let it be at your own work. We know how teamwork goes. I mean, teamwork is a two-way street. The people who can look like the most charming personalities, like they have the most charming personalities, are the most hardworking people, the people who appear to be like that, even they can be just the worst teammates, the worst partners in the team. They could be lazy, they could be lazy, and others would not even get to know about it, but you would because you're working with them in the team. So they could be difficult to deal with. So I'm not sure to what extent was Bray Wyatt difficult to work with. Uh, you know, and why did the WWE officials feel so? I'm not sure about that. But if this happened in the last few months, I feel like this is very wrong on WWE's part because we talked about it with KJ yesterday as well. KJ said that of course he was difficult to work with because he lost his good friend. He lost a very good friend who he called brother, and he was actually in the Wyatt family, Luke Harper, Brody Lee. So of course he was difficult to work with, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this was in the last few months that he was difficult to work with, or was it the case all along. If it was all along, maybe I understand. But if it was in the last few months, I feel like it's very, very wrong on WWE's part, especially for a company that has stuff going on like the Warriors Award, or have all of these charity and non-bullying and whatnot, social awareness stuff, campaigns that they run. For them to take such an action, not be understanding of their own employee and firing them when they're at their absolute worst mentally, it just speaks volumes of this company's double standards. So, but again, I'm not too sure what the situation was, what the circumstances were. But if it was what looks like it was, then it was very, very wrong decision, very bad decision. All right, so I just heard that from the commentator that they're gonna be taking a break. Let's see if I'm gonna go to commercial as well, or if I'm gonna enjoy the show. No, I am actually enjoying the show. No break for me, no commercial for me. I'm enjoying this commercial free, and that's what happens when you're wrestling news. You don't get commercials. You enjoy it as it is. And I'm enjoying the show right now. No breaks, no commercials, just living the life, living the life. You know what I mean? All right, so the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, now their team is the one that's in the dominant position. The Dark Order trying to gain the upper hand back again, but they fail. The Dark Order is really struggling here, and Adam Cole is really taking advantage of the distraction. So not Adam Cole, Young Bucks taking advantage of the distraction in hand, and Adam Cole's been tagged in. Adam Cole steps inside. Looks like we're gonna get a bit of a double team here. Lots of distraction actually right now. Yes, we are getting some dirty work, dirty double team, but it's just more dirty than anything. It's not even double team; it's a triple team at this time, at this point, and it's just dirty, dirty work, nothing else. And Adam Cole with the suplex and a cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. Not too surprising, he had to kick out at the point. Matt Jackson really going at it right now. I mean, the Dark Order is really struggling because if this guy cannot get the tag in, if he's not able to tag his teammates in, oh, I think the tables are going to turn now. Yeah, they're definitely turning now. I think we're going to see a hot tag from the Dark Order very shortly. Let's see if it's actually going to happen, but it looks like it. It looks like a hot tag is in store for us in the very near future. But let's see. All right, so the Young Bucks. Okay, wow. And just like I said, both the Young Bucks brothers, both of them tried to suplex this guy right here, but they were unable to. And this guy in turn suplexed both the Jacksons, and now they're down. And there's a hot tag in. Both the Jacksons are out. Adam Cole comes in for the save. Of course, Adam Cole is a better partner, a better, teammate than Orange Cassidy could ever be. Orange Cassidy is definitely one of the most useless. Adam Cole proving that he's not useless. He's not Orange Cassidy. He's Adam Cole. But still, his help was worth nothing because he's out as well now. But it did cause a little bit of distraction, I believe. It did buy the Young Bucks some time, and Young Bucks trying to gain momentum, and they fail. They fail miserably. And what is that? Okay, it's time for the Uno Sako. Wow. And just as he had the Sako in position, Adam Cole with a kick to the temple. And let's see if I think Adam Cole's going to be tagged in. Yeah, Adam Cole has been tagged in. And he's going for the submission hold. It looks like it's going to be it. It looks like it's going to be over right now. It looks like it's going to be a kiss. Kiss. Oh, wow. All right. And the Dark Order stopped them from doing that. I think Adam Cole is awaiting the kiss. Oh, wow. He did get kissed, but not from the Jackson brothers, but from the Dark Order. Okay. Well, he still got kissed anyway, so I guess he can't really complain, right? That's pretty good. How can anybody not like the Dark Order? I mean, these people are adorable. So I don't know if calling somebody adorable in wrestling is a bad thing, but they're adorable. You gotta admit that. Super King was a great finisher from Michaels. Now everyone does it anytime. That's true. That's true. It takes it away from the move, right? I mean, when you do it rarely, when some particular wrestler does it, such as Shawn Michaels, It just adds more to the value. And now everybody does it. It's a regular move. It's wow, that was a near fall. It's sort of like choke slam, you know. I mean, choke slam is still kind of like saved and protected. Like not everybody does it all the time, but it does happen. It does happen, and people do it. And if we like super kick is getting the same fate, just like you pointed out, it's still getting it's also getting the same choke slam kind of treatment, but worse. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm glad that you're enjoying the watch along as much as you're probably enjoying the show as well. I mean, the show is pretty good. It's not bad at all. Look at these back and forth right now. Adam Cole, a roll up pin. Okay, it was not it. I thought the Dark Order was gonna pick up the win thanks to a roll up, but it didn't happen. Okay, yep. From what I'm seeing right now, there is no way that the Dark Order is winning. Not after this. No, Dark Order is definitely losing this one, and they're gonna be losing it brutally, brutally. By the way, what is the referee doing out there? I mean, this is why the AEW only has one official who actually does her work, who knows her job, and that's Audrey. I mean, this referee did nothing to stop the interference, did nothing to stop the dirty work that was being carried out, and just like that, thanks to the referee's incompetence, Adam Cole and his gang have won the match, and the Dark Order lost, and they did not only lose, they lost brutally. So the referee is to be blamed here, I guess. I mean, he did a terrible job. A terrible, terrible job, that's for sure. I mean, the Elite sort of is invincible right now. Uh, I don't know if you can. I thought that Dark Order could be trusted, but from what we are seeing right now, what we saw tonight, Dark Order cannot be trusted in taking out the Elite because the Elite is just way too strong. They need a bigger force. They need a stronger force than that. Okay, now this guy is locking in the SDF, and yes, I like calling the move the SDF. I like calling the moves what they're actually originally called, and I would like to call this the SDF. Yep, nothing else but the SDF. And the SGF wasn't even 10 seconds long. I don't know why did he lock it in. Why did he bother to lock it in only if he had to lose it in 10 seconds? I'm pretty sure that the pain would have just started to kick in at the time when he actually let go of him. So I'm not too sure why, but it did happen. Alright, so the fans are feeling the entrance, the theme song of the Jungle Boy, but Jungle Boy is angry. He's angry.
You know what? He's right. You are late. And as of lately, you've been acting like an arrogant piece of shit. This is a drill that goes back to football. You remember Bowling Green? People attacking, you react. That's where we're going today.
Alright, we're getting an interesting video package here where Cody Rhodes is being trained. He's being kind of criticized by his peers who are angry, who are upset with him for being Mr. Hollywood, for doing stuff outside of the ring more than what he's doing inside of the ring. He's doing reality shows, he's doing Road to the Top, he's staying away from the ring, more than people would actually like for him to stay away from the ring. But also, he does not have a lot of things to do in AEW, considering he can never be AEW World Champion. I don't know if that was the best decision that these people could have made so early on in the promotions, age, but they did do it. And
You went on record as saying that you will never do anything to let the kids down. Do you think on this given night
So Arn Anderson is really, trying to get Cody Rhodes ready for his match against Malakai Black. He wants him to be ready. He wants him to be angry. He wants him to put the pain to Malakai Black. And speaking of Malakai, here comes MJF. I don't know if Burberry pays MJF any royalty, but they should. I mean, look at his Tron, look at his outfit, look at the scarf that he's wearing. He's a walking, talking commercial for Burberry, and he's like really promoting their product across the globe. So Burberry should definitely be paying him some royalties. So a lot of people, we've seen with the MMA guys, their spokesperson, dissed Miami and the pride of Miami, calling them trash balls. And now MJF comes on and he also trashes Miami. So really getting that heel heat.
Ladies and gentlemen, just in case you are deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or by the looks of it, very poor. Hailing from the most magical place in the world, Lakeview, Long Island, New York.
It's funny because MJF calls his hometown the most magical place in the world. That's Long Island, New York. And when they were in New York recently, with the incredible Grand Slam show in New York, MJF got booed out of the building. His own parents booed him out. His own parents said that they apologize to the wrestling world for giving birth to MJF. That's how hated he is, not only across the world, but also in his old hometown. So I really I wonder if and when AEW goes to Long Island, what kind of a reaction or response will he receive from the fans in Long Island, considering the response and the reaction he got in New York City was not too good. Let's see what happens when they actually go to Long Island. Would be interesting.
Ski mask or not, so I guess you're wrong, Arnie. I guess I did break you mentally, didn't I? Tony, it wasn't just a jam, it was the entire pinnacle. Right. Well, let's be honest here, let's be honest. Yeah, get him out of here. Hey, fat boy, I'm the one holding the microphone. I can't even hear you over all three of your chins. Keep your mouth shut.
AEW really does not care. They can be offensive. They can say things that can offend a lot of people. They don't care about that. And I feel like that is a USP of the company because if you looked at what Chris Jericho said early on, he called Paige. I mean, he basically referenced her as a bimbo, as a slut, as whatnot. And this guy right here, MJF, he calls out a fan for being overweight and calls him fat boy and calls him three. It says that he has three chins or whatnot. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you can actually get a lot of trouble for and get canceled for. But AEW doesn't really care. They know that they have a wrestling fan base, and wrestling fan base, they're not so sensitive. They should not be so sensitive, and I feel like that's what they capitalize on it, and they're doing it right. They're doing it well. All right, so MJF wants a match against Darby Allin. Darby Allin is not answering. He's not coming out. He's not responding. That's why he's asking Wardlow to come to the ring, bring the referee. And by the way, this guy Wardlow is also a fan of wrestling. He's one of the followers, one of the supporters on our Instagram page. Great guy indeed. This referee again, Audrey does it better, a lot better. I'm pretty sure he's going to sell out. I'm pretty sure he's going to count and do everything that MJF is asking him to do because he's asking him to do it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to start counting. Yeah. This referee is such a sellout. No referee should be doing what he's doing right now. Exactly. This is one of the worst things that we've ever seen. Like, this means nothing. And it's pretty apparent, right? It's pretty apparent that Darby Allin is gonna come out. Like this, all this hype, all that's that we're doing right now, it's very predictable. It had to happen, you know. So it gets a little cheesy. It gets a little bit of a WWE kind of stuff. Like you expect such stuff, such predictable stuff as you call it, as a lot of people call it from the WWE. But when you see AEW doing the same thing, it gets a little cheesy, right? So Sting now comes out. Sting looks angry. He looks very angry, actually. He's here with the baseball bat. He attacks Wardlow. The referee is gone. He's nowhere to be seen, and so is MJF. MJF is out of here. Wardlow took the worst. He took a beating. He took a baseball bat to the gut. And MJF is out of here. He's taking nothing. MJF wants no piece of the Sting, it seems. Or maybe he does. Yeah, he does that. It's apparent. Why would he run away only to get back in the ring, right? That would make no sense. And I'm glad he did not get back in the ring because that would have made zero sense. But still, questions remain unanswered. MJF's challenge remains unanswered. He challenged Darby Allin to a match tonight. Darby Allin did not come out, but his guardian Sting did, and Sting looked very angry. And yeah, it was in front of you. It was in front of you. Sting attacked Wardlow. MJF got out of there, and that's it. That's how we cut to commercial. And now I'm seeing a commercial for the NBA, and it's just the weirdest ad placement that I've seen in a long time. But it is what it is, and we're gonna be taking a little short commercial break of ourselves, and we're gonna be back right as AEW gets back on the air. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, as we will be right back. Thank you. All right, we're back, and we just saw a backstage interview with Anna Jay. And of course, Adam Cole's partner, Britt Baker. There was a little catfight going on, which was ultimately broken up by the referees. And right now, we're seeing a one-on-one match between Kira Hogan and Penelope Ford. Now, Kira Hogan has a very interesting story. She has been a regular on AEW. She's been here for about 5 or 6 matches, in this past few months. But it was recently, only recently, I believe 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, time flies, you don't get to know. But only a couple weeks ago, that Kira Hogan was actually offered a contract, a long-term contract with AEW, which she has signed, and Kira Hogan is actually fighting tonight as an official AEW superstar. So congratulations to Kira Hogan, and early predictions for this match, I don't see Kira winning it. I still feel like, even though it's like, her match as an AEW star and whatnot, she's getting started as an official star now. I still feel like Penelope is gonna win because she has some story going on. She has something going on right now. Kira Hogan's still new, still fresh. Yeah, definitely gonna be rooting for Penelope. Definitely feel like she's gonna be the one who's gonna be picking up the win tonight. All right. Shows Kira Hogan shows Penelope to the corner. By the way, when Kira Hogan signed, with AEW, and I posted the news on Instagram, a lot of people kept asking me, is she related to Hulk Hogan? No, she's not. She's not related to Hulk Hogan. She has nothing to do with Hulk. Um, the last name Hogan apparently is Kira's actual last name or something. For Hulk, it's not really his last name, but for Kira it is. So she's not related to Hulk Hogan in any capacity whatsoever. Hulk Hogan obviously was also a part. I mean, he was accused of being a racist, right? You guys know that. Akira Hogan being a black superstar, it's polar opposites. Polar opposites. And while you might think, and while WWE might show it like, Hulk Hogan's been forgiven, people have moved on, there are no grudges against Hulk anymore. I did speak to I spoke with JTG not too long ago, and I asked him about his own opinion on Hulk Hogan and if he was able to forgive him. JTG said no, he has not forgiven him. He said that he can never forgive Hulk Hogan because Hulk Hogan basically went out there and he said that, hey, I'm a racist. He said that he's a racist, and that's why JTG cannot forgive him. He said that the apology that he's made, they mean nothing because they're just words. They're just apologies that he had to do as a corporate obligation, nothing else. So that's the only reason why he had to do it. Jay says that if Hulk Hogan really meant it, if he really wanted to show like he meant it, he should have done something for the welfare of the black community. He could have donated something to the black charities. He could have done something for the black kids, who are, to help them get an education. He could have done some charity work for the black communities right now to help them grow. But he did nothing of that sort. Instead, he just went out there, he said he's sorry, and that's about it. JTG told me that he feels like Hulk Hogan is a racist, so there's no point in just accepting his apology right like that. It's not something that Hulk Hogan is sorry for. It's not something that happened by accident. It is something that Hulk Hogan is, and he's a racist, and that's why JTG cannot forgive him. But he still told me that if he wakes up, one day in the morning and he sees on Twitter that there's a hashtag called like "Rip Hulk Hogan" or something, JTG would be taken aback. He'd be sad. He'd shed a tear or two, but still, he won't be able to forgive him because of the racism that he's been pulling out for years and years. So understandable, but also goes on to show that Hulk Hogan's apology, even the WWE presents it in a different light, Hulk Hogan's apology still has not been accepted by the black wrestlers out there, and in their eyes, he's still very much racist. So, do you think that Hulk Hogan is a racist? Do you consider him to be racist? Have you accepted his apology? Let us know what you feel in the comments. And this match is still going on. Kira Hogan, Penelope, and as I had predicted early on, I said that there's no reason for Kira to win tonight. Penelope's victory would make more sense to me, at least. So that's the reason why I said Penelope will win this match. But let's see. Kira is working hard. She's trying to turn the tables around, but she's not able to do so. Penelope has this match in control. She's going for a risky top dive. Yeah, when I said risky, I really felt it was going to be risky, and yeah, it did not pay off. Kira Hogan with a chop to the chest of Penelope now. Looks like it's going to be a suplex from the top rope now. Yeah, superplex it was, and Kira Hogan has just superplexed her opponent, and both of them are now down and out. But it looks like Kira Hogan is doing just fine. It looks like she's in control. She did not really get hurt from the superplex as much as her opponent did. Kira Hogan getting up to her feet now. Yeah, it looks like Kira Hogan is going to be picking up the win. Maybe I was wrong with my early prediction. It does look like, to me, it does appear now that it's going to be Kira Hogan who's going to be winning. Even though it makes no sense to me story-wise, but it looks like it's going to be Kira Hogan's night. It looks like she's going to win. And by the way, this is a 2-hour Dynamite. We've been doing this for over an hour and 15 minutes now. We've got about 30 minutes, a little over 30 minutes left for the show. And we've got some great stuff, still coming. We've got Bryan Danielson's match. We've got Hangman Adam Page coming up. We've got some good stuff coming up even now. So stay tuned to AEW Dynamite and stay tuned to our watch along as we cover this show and do a live play-by-play of the show. Penelope now goes for the stunner, basically. I don't know why. My heart still says Kira Hogan is going to be taking the win. Let's see. No, it's a kick out. Okay. My mind says Penelope, but my heart says Kira. Let's say who picks the win. Let's see. We're at Ford going for it. All right, wow. That was a good move. Looks like Kira Hogan has nothing left in the tank now. She's not able to resist her moves. She's not able to do anything about it. It looks like this is it. Yeah, Kira Hogan has lost. So my prediction early on was right. Kira Hogan has lost this match. Ford put on a good fight. She fought hard, and the way that she ended the match was just great. Terrific performance by Ford, and Kira Hogan was also able to keep up. She did a good job as well. Here comes Ruby Soho attacking Ford. Okay. Penelope is in a bad spot here, and she's been tossed out of the ring. Look, here's one problem that I have with AEW, with what's going on so far. Before I get to that, let me just take a few fan comments. FTR left WWE because Vince wanted them to wear suspenders, and now they're wearing 4 costumes for Tony. I know, right? Good point right there, Mr. NXT. You're right. But I guess that now they have the tag team title, so they're happy. But yeah, you're right. They are wearing some odd costumes right now. Definitely weird. William is here. William, good to see you. Yep, FTR, they have won the tag titles, but they have the frog costumes. Maybe they're gearing up for Halloween, we don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. But yes, this is one problem that I've had with this show. It's been a good show. It's been a terrific show. But one problem that I've had is that these people attack their opponents for a few seconds and then they let them go. We've seen at least 2 spots where submission holds were locked in at the end of the match, after the match actually, and then they were let go within 10 seconds. And now we saw the same with Ruby Soho. She comes out, she attacks Penelope, and then she lets go of her within 5 or 6 seconds. Like, why do you even bother to lock in a submission hold? Why do you bother to come out and attack an opponent if you're gonna let them go in like a few seconds, right? You're not causing any damage whatsoever. So this is something that I find weird and hard to digest. But I've seen this all night long with AEW Dynamite. I've seen it too much for my liking, but I guess I should not be so picky. Should just enjoy the show. One thing that I enjoy about AEW in particular is the number of commercials that they have, which is really very less when you compare to the likes of WWE or even Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling has more commercials than AEW does, by the way. They've got a lot more commercials. You'd be surprised. But the commercials, quality of the commercials, they're not even the same level. The commercials you get while watching Impact Wrestling are like casino, hotline dating. It is just weirdest commercials ever, cringy ones. So, all right. So the TNT champion Miro, former TNT champion Miro, by the way, I feel like he did such a great job with the TNT title. Should have held on to it with more. Uh, I see we've got a Punjabi in the house. Good to see you. I'm doing good. I'm doing Wadia. Thanks for tuning in. Unfortunately, I'm not able to speak Punjabi because, of my of residing in America for too long. I don't have the just the greatest Punjabi skills, but I'm working on it right now, and hopefully within a few months I'll be having a better hold of Punjabi, and we can have a one-on-one in Punjabi in the future, right, Mr. NXT? But thanks for tuning in. All right, and FTR, I know FTR chants are here, FTR fans are here, and people are happy for FTR. And look who we have here, Hangman Adam Page, a guy that a lot of people thought the fans would forget about. A lot of people thought that if he comes back, he's not going to get the same amount of pop as a CM Punk would or Ruby Soho would. But he came back and he proved the haters wrong. He proved that nobody forgot about Adam Page. He has his place secured in AEW, and people care about this guy. They do care about him. I'm ready to see Ruby Soho wrestling somebody. I know, right? Well, we want to see Ruby Soho wrestling somebody. Anybody. But we want to see her in action. You're right.
In 2019, my friends and I, we left our home in Ring of Honor. We left our home in New Japan to start All Elite Wrestling, and I was excited then.
Hangman Adam Page letting people know that he's one of the very first, one of the AEW originals who left ROH, who left NJPW to start AEW with his friends. So letting people know that he is one of the AEW originals. I love DMD. Love her as a champion. Big fan. I know, right? DMD has everything going on. I mean, I can't say it enough. She is such an asset for AEW. I mean, she is great on the mic. She's great in the ring. She looks like a million bucks. She just has everything going, and she really elevates the standard of AEW every time she makes an appearance. And now DMD has her partner in crime, Adam Cole, on the same roster. It's just great. It's just great. I'm happy for DMD, and I'm happy for Adam Cole. Hangman must already become AEW World Champion already. Pull the trigger. Yep. Film Nation BTS here speaking facts right there, by the way. He deserves it. He very well deserves it. Did I just hear Adam Page say cowboy shit? Yes, I did. And the fans are chanting cowboy shit right now. It's funny because tonight's show has been particularly non-PG. We've seen a lot of stuff tonight. We've heard a lot of stuff tonight that's nowhere near PG. It should not be nowhere near PG in a rating. It's been an adult-oriented show, to say the least. It's been a bit of explicit. They've used some profanity. They've used some some degrading words, degrading terms, and now we're hearing cowboy shit. I mean, this show is not for kids. This show is not for PG audiences. This show is for adults. At least tonight it's for adults. Yeah, look at that.
What's happened the balls in the
I wish I had a little counter right now, which could count the number of times he said cowboy shit tonight. That's a lot of wow. Another time. Let's go Hangman. Let's go Hangman. Let's go Hangman. I know. Film Nation BTS really cheering on Hangman right now. And for those of you watching right now, make sure to share this with your friends, with your family, so more people can enjoy watching All Elite Wrestling and every single wrestling show out there with wrestling news. So make sure to spread the word. And if you're tuning in for the first time, if you're not, you already know the drill. But if you're tuning in for the first time, you know that KJ White is going to be taking over right after I go off the air and right after AEW Dynamite goes off the air. KJ White is going to be going live. He's going to be breaking down AEW Dynamite for you all. He's going to be reviewing the show and telling us the results from the show. So make sure to tune in to Breakdown by KJ White as soon as our show goes off the air.
But despite that brutal honesty, I feel like you all still believe in me.
Also, I want to see CM Punk and Bryan Danielson form a tag team together by calling themselves Dishonor. It's that okay?
So I promise I can't make
Interesting.
full game.
Interesting. Interesting takes, Film Nation.
I will give you my heart. I will give you my soul. I will give you every fiber of my being. I will give you my blood. I will give you my sweat. And one way or the other, I feel like I may give you my tears. The one thing, though, that I am 100% sure about is that in full gear, I will give you cowboy shit.
Cowboy shit yet again. And Adam Cole basically came out here to hype Full Gear, to hype his return, to let people know that he's back and he's ready and he wants to give people his cowboy shit. Okay, so this felt like a extended promo, which was not really needed, but we still got it. It didn't have to be as long as it was, but we still got it. Can't complain, I guess. It reminded me a bit of WWE 2K19's, that video game, WWE 2K19. How their promo system works, where people come out, they promote themselves. You tap the button and see if you go over with the fans well or not. It felt like that kind of promo, but it's okay, I guess. I guess the fans bought it, so that's fine. Next week on Saturday, we're going to be getting Malakai Black versus Cody Rhodes. So that is one match you do not want to miss. We're finally getting Bobby Fish versus Bryan Danielson, and this is one match that I know that all of you wanted to watch. I wanted to watch, Bobby Fish, ex-WWE superstar, Bryan Danielson, ex-WWE superstar. Should be a good match. And this match is up next. Okay. Oh, by the way, if you ever do see Bryan Danielson in person to do an interview, ask him if he will do a match by teaming up. Definitely. I definitely do that. And speaking of interviews, I don't know if you were here when I announced this early on, but we'll be doing some exclusive interviews with Impact Wrestling talent. And these interviews are going to be coming out next week. And these are going to be to promote Impact Wrestling's upcoming Bound for Glory pay-per-view. So if you're an Impact Wrestling fan, or even if you're not, make sure to tune into the interviews next week, as they're going to be Wrestling News exclusive with Impact Wrestling talent. So make sure to tune in right here on Wrestling News. A good passionate promo by Adam right there. True, it was a good promo. I think AEW should mix up. It's interesting. I mean, right now, what we've seen tonight, it's pretty much TV 14. We saw some profanity, we saw some degrading terms being used here and there. We've seen all of that. So definitely TV 14 tonight. We cowboy shit. I mean, we heard a lot of the stuff that you don't want kids to hear or about. So we saw a lot of that. So it's TV 14. But for them to mix it up, maybe they should. Maybe one of the shows could be PG, and one of them could be TV 14. Maybe Rampage could be TV 14 with Dynamite being PG. Could happen. But then it just leaves the pay-per-views in question, because for pay-per-views, how do they manage? Do they have the pay-per-view PG, or do they have a TV 14? That's gonna be a question. Mix it with the, yeah, I get it. Yeah, Brian versus Suzuki yesterday. Interesting question, Mr. NXT. I'll tell you this. That match was super hyped. Buy-in, a part of Buy-in was supposed to take on SmackDown, supposed to show SmackDown what AEW can do and how it can beat it so easily. I wasn't the biggest fan of Bryan versus Suzuki. Yes, these two are just tremendous names in wrestling. There is a lot of respect attached to both the names. When you hear the name Bryan Danielson, when you hear the name Suzuki, you want to bow down, right? You want to bow down, you want to salute these people, because there is so much respect attached to both these names in professional wrestling world. But the match for me, it did not deliver. I felt like it was slow, too slow for my liking. I understand, it was NJPW style, New Japan style, slow paced, back and forth. I get it, but still, at the end of the day, they failed to entertain me. And no matter how big of a star you are, if you're not entertaining me, I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm gonna tell you how I feel. I was not entertained by the match. Were you? Were you BTS? Were you Mr. NXT? Film Nation? Let us know what you thought about last night's match between Bryan Danielson and Suzuki. I'd like to know your opinion. Hold up, I never meant to say for my tag team. No, I get it. Don't worry. Yeah, I will definitely ask them. I will ask Brian if I get a chance to do an interview with him. But considering he's an AEW superstar right now, I don't know if I'm going to get that opportunity to interview Brian Danielson anytime soon. I mean, I do interview WWE stars, Impact Wrestling stars, ROH stars, but AEW, I have on a personal scale some issues with Brandy Rhodes, and I don't know if that is sorted yet. It's been a while, but I don't know if that issue with Brandy has been sorted yet. So I don't know if I'll have the privilege of interviewing AEW stars in the near future. But that issue with Brandy was quite. I would say people in AEW know about it. So let's see how it goes. I think Adam Cole should hang out with Luke Gallows. Interesting. And Carl Anderson for a safe scenario just in case Kenny Omega. It could happen. I wouldn't be too surprised if Kenny Omega actually turns on Adam Cole, because both of them share a very large fan base. Both of them do, right? Like, fans love Kenny, fans love Adam Cole, but there can be only one leader in a team. So I would not be surprised at all if Kenny Omega decides to turn on Adam Cole and really show him his true place in AEW, and that's nowhere, right? That's nowhere. That's how they want the ex-WWE stars to be, right? So it's gonna be interesting. All right, Mr. NXT liked. Okay, you liked the match between Suzuki and Bryan. Slow matches. You like slow matches. Also, Bryan was my childhood favorite. Yeah, I understand. I mean, yeah, slow matches are good. They're good, but that match in particular was too slow for my liking. Maybe if I was watching that match alone, I would have liked it too. But I was watching that match simultaneously along with SmackDown, and I believe while that match was going on, we were also seeing a match between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch, and that was a pretty fast-paced match. I mean, that match was fast-paced. It was hard-hitting. It was entertaining. I liked the production value in that match as compared to the Suzuki match. I liked SmackDown's production better. Maybe, if because I was watching both of them side by side, if I was comparing them, that one just seemed slower and darker. This one seemed brighter and fast-paced. Much faster. That's why I liked SmackDown better and not Dynamite. So that could be the reason. Maybe I should only watch one show at a time. But when I do these watch-alongs, I do it for the fans. So I have to watch everything, every wrestling show available, so I can tell the fans what I feel. Right. So that's it. Film Nation. Yes, and that's a chant that you can do, but not Brian himself, right? He's not going to be doing the chant. Oh wow, Biggie says, I can't believe Adam Cole betrayed WWE. I mean, I understand it's surprising. Adam Cole was such a big part of NXT, but you can't really say that he betrayed the WWE if you look at what WWE has done with some of their own top performing superstars. I mean, look at Bray Wyatt, right? I mean, that's the biggest example in front of you. Would you say that WWE betrayed Bray Wyatt? I would say it. So, for if they can betray their superstars like that, just like that, I think it's fine if their superstars betray them too. It only makes it equal. I live in India, so I have woke up at 5:30 in the morning to watch wrestling. I always say this that the fans who live outside of America, who live outside of the UK, right? Fans who live in the East, not on the West, they are the greatest wrestling fans because they wake up early, they go to sleep late because of wrestling, because the passion that they have for wrestling. And you don't see it a lot in the Western fans because no matter how hardcore they claim to be, they get pissed off when Crown Jewel goes on the air when it's late here in America, right? They get pissed off. They don't want it. They don't want it to be on a Thursday and at an inconvenient time. They don't like it, right? But for the fans abroad, like they do it every single week. They do it for every single wrestling show out there. So to the fans in the West, I say stop complaining, start enjoying. And I'm looking forward to Crown Jewel. I'm gonna be covering it live. It should be a good show. Thank you, Mr. NXT, for tuning in from India. Love the sport and love the passion. Film Nation BTS. If I was the WWE writers, I would tell Vince by saying, give this dude a chance. He's pretty cool. He's Adam Cole, baby. I have something to tell you, Phil. I'll tell you in a bit, but first let me read the other comment as well. To be honest, I feel like he did a good job in WWE, but since now he's in AEW, I think he's going to accomplish. True, he's definitely accomplished greatness now. I think he's already doing. He's doing great. He's having fun. That's the most important part. He's having fun. You can just tell by the smile on his face. He's having a great. He's having a phenomenal time in AEW. He's really enjoying his time. So that's what's the most important. You should be happy where you perform. And Adam Cole looks happy where he is right now. And coming back to the topic of the WWE writers, as you mentioned in this comment here, I had the pleasure of interviewing Maria Kanellis, former WWE superstar, current ROH EVP. She's doing some great stuff for the women in ROH. Actually, not just ROH, but women in wrestling and professional wrestling now. And I had the pleasure of interviewing her, and she told me that hey, WWE writers, it's so hard. It's so hard to pitch them an idea because what happens is that when an idea goes to Vince McMahon and he gets to know that this is an idea that was pitched by the superstar, the idea gets rejected. Now, unless you were a John Cena or The Rock or the Brock Lesnar, your idea will get rejected. And that's just how the way it is. And I told her that why didn't you just like, when you were suggesting ideas, why don't you tell the writers to go to Vince McMahon and present the idea, telling him that, hey, this is not a superstar's idea, this is my own idea, I came up with this. And Maria said that that is exactly what they try to do. They try to make friends with the people in the creative. They pitch them ideas. They have them pitch them to Vince McMahon, as their own ideas. But it doesn't work out because the creative has their own brain. They want to use their own creatives. Vince McMahon wants their creative team to come up with ideas and not listen to the superstars. He just wants the superstars to perform according to what's being choreographed by the team and not add their own spiciness into it. So definitely weird, but I guess it's something that we can do nothing about. I mean, Maria seemed pretty upset about it, and if she wasn't able to do anything about it, I'm pretty sure we can't either, right? So, by the way, let's focus back on this match between Bryan Danielson and Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish is dominating this match right now. This match actually reminds me a lot of the Drew Gulak versus Bryan Danielson, and Daniel Bryan, maybe I should say, in the WWE. We had a tremendous bout between the two, and I was like, wow, Daniel Bryan is really working hard to have this Drew Gulak guy shine and do great things in the WWE. But of course, WWE being WWE, that match led to nowhere, and Drew Gulak is nowhere to be seen right now. Maybe he's performing in 205 Live, but who cares, right? Nobody cares. To be honest, I respect Vince McMahon, but I really wish he would have an open mind and listen with the fans. I have to say. But hey, man, I have to go. It's a good talking with you, but hopefully talk to you soon on the next live stream. Thank you so much, BTS. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure talking to you as well. Have a great time. Have a good night. And thank you for tuning in. I will see you with Raw, right? We're doing a live stream for Raw for Monday. So I'll see you on Monday night for Raw. Thank you and take care. All right. So, returning back to this live action. Peace, Film Nation. Peace. All right. So, returning back to the live action, Bobby Fish, Bryan Danielson. Bryan is really taking a beating right now. I mean, Bobby Fish, if you look at him, he is dominating. I mean, Bryan is having a hard time keeping up with, this guy. Bobby Fish really proving that, hey, it was WWE that was holding me back. There is no holding me back in AEW. I can do what I want. I can put my performance, my strength on display, and I can achieve greatness. So Bobby Fish is really doing everything he can to deliver a five-star match, it seems. And Biggie says, I wanted to see Maria versus AJ Lee. I know, right? That would have been such a fantastic match. That would have had been a great match. Yeah, a rivalry between the two would have had been just fantastic. During my interview with Maria, she was telling me that she plans on retiring and whatnot, and passing the torch. And when she said that, I was like, "What are you talking about passing the torch? You still look so young. You still look so fresh. You still look like you can deliver such great matches. What are you talking about? You're just getting started." And she just smiled because it's so hard to digest that our favorite superstars, the stars that we grew up loving, are now retiring or they are on the verge of retirement. It's hard to digest it, but it's just the truth of life. Maria Canales is close to retirement. She says she's probably going to have one more match for her retirement, and that's about it. I asked her, I said that, okay, like, we're going to be seeing her in the WWE Hall of Fame one day, to which she just laughed and she said it's never going to happen. She doesn't see it happening. But let's see. Let's see what happens. But for her herself, Maria does not see herself getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame at all. But let's see. Let's see what happens. So Bobby Fish definitely was dominating most of this match, but right now it is Bryan Danielson and Bryan Danielson only. Bryan Danielson is definitely dominating. He's really making Bobby Fish regret coming to AEW, agreeing to fight Bryan, because look at Bryan go. I mean, he is savage. He's ruthless. He's going after the injured leg right now. He holds nothing back. He shows no mercy. He's doing everything he can to pick up the win. Wow. That was hard to watch, considering, knowing all the history, the medical history, especially when it comes to the spine of Bryan Danielson. That backdrop driver from Bobby Fish to Bryan was hard to watch. But again, this is the sort of stuff that Vince McMahon protected Bryan Danielson from. But in AEW, there is no protection. There is no babysitting. In AEW, Bryan can go, and he can go, and he can do whatever he wants in the ring, which is fantastic, right? It's a treat for the fans. But while enjoying his matches, let's also hope that he just stays sane and stays safe. Wow, look at that. Wow, what a match. What a match. I don't know if somebody is not watching this right now, if a wrestling fan is missing on this match right now, this is a pure gem. It's not a gem in the making. It's not a main event material match. This is a main event match. This is a main event marquee. This is a pay-per-view standard match. I mean, a kick out after that was wow. I did not see that coming at all. Bryan's greatest rivalry was against. I agree. I absolutely agree. You know that I know a lot of people who say that they were not a fan of the Authority. They were not a fan of that whole era where they had Seth Rollins and Kane and whatnot. People say that they did not enjoy that storyline, was cringy or whatnot. I loved it. I loved corporate Kane. I loved the Authority. They got on my nerves. They did the real heel work. They were amazing. And Bryan Danielson has actually picked up the win thanks to submission. The match is over, and the winner is Bryan Danielson. Congratulations. Mr. NXT says it is crazy how Bryan main evented WrestleMania with Edge and Roman this year. I know, right? And I actually had the pleasure of interviewing Edge before his match against Bryan. Okay, they have revealed a bracket for the World Title Eliminator Tournament, and Dustin Rhodes, Bryan, Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston, and a lot. Wow, this looks like a very promising tournament. It's gonna be Orange Cassidy versus Hobbs, Lance Archer versus Eddie Kingston. It's going to be Dustin Rhodes versus Bryan Danielson. Okay, it has to be Bryan Danielson who's gonna win, and this is gonna take place next week. Interesting. So they're getting ready for Full Gear. It has to be. It looks like a very promising show, very exciting show. But guys, for you who enjoyed this watch along with us tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure doing it for you, watching the show along with you. It was great. We had fun. I had fun, and I hope that you had fun as well. But don't go anywhere because as soon as I go off the air, KJ White is going to go on the air with his breakdown with KJ White, where he's going to be breaking down tonight's show of AEW Dynamite. He's going to be telling us what he liked, what he disliked. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to Wrestling News. Stay tuned to our YouTube channel as we're going to go live with Breakdown with KJ White in just a few minutes. Stay tuned and we'll be right back. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.